Welcome back, friends. We are going to make a character. We're going to make a character. I set up an account or a new game in Roll20, and we're going to jump back and forth between the PDF and my character sheet. I'm using the built-in Zweihander character sheet in Roll20, and we're gonna see what we can come up with. We're gonna roll some random dice and figure out our dude. So this is the character sheet. I got one of the predetermined character names from Roll20. This character's name for now is IKEA Fetch. I don't think I want to keep his name IKEA Fetch, but it's a pretty funny name to start with. So let's go to character creation, and we will figure out what in the F we need to do to start to make this rando character. So character creation is super random. We begin at basic tier, and we're going to roll for our primary attributes. Primary attributes have a bonus attached to them, which is the tens of the stat. So the stat is going to be a percentage number, and if it's like 38, then 3, right? Will be our bonus. So we'll do that. Our stats, our attributes are combat, so just like how good you are at fighting, brawn, muscle ability, agility, which is speed and nimbleness, perception, which is perception, intelligence, willpower, and fellowship. Fellowship is like being buds with people. Now, at my option, I can change any one attribute to 42% at any point during character creation. And to generate my character, I need to roll. I gotta get a piece of paper here. I'm gonna take out my notebook. The grim and perilous method, which we are going to take, is roll 3d10, add it together, and add it to 25, and that's our first attribute. And we just do them in order. Actually, I don't need to write it down because I can just put it on the character sheet. So here we go. 3d10 plus 25 for each stat. Here we go. All right, roll 3d10 plus 25. Our first stat, combat, is 44. Okay, so our combat bonus becomes 4. No, get out of here, drive. Stop it. Okay, 44 combat. So I guess this means, let's do some math here. We're between 28 at the lowest and 55 at the highest, right? I think. Between, 1, 2, 3 plus 25, so 28. My awesome drawing. 28 to 10, 20, 30 plus 25, 55. And I can change my lowest one to 42, which is pretty good if I want to. Okay. Next is roll 3d10 plus 25. How brawny are we? 43. Not bad, not bad. Okay, we 43 brawniness, which is also a 4. Yep. 3d10 plus 25. 40. Okay. I mean, we're not doing 42 is like average, right? So above average except for our agility so far. 3d10 plus 25. We got 40. Another one for perception. Come on, we gotta get one really like baller one. Oh, 37 intelligence. God damn it, you idiot. And then 39 for willpower. And 45 for fellowship. Fellowship is our best score. Fellowship. Okay. So let me just make a note here to remind myself. 42. Sometime during character creation, I can swap out for a 42. All right, well, let's see what class and shit I am. Okay. So, IKEA Fetch, friend to all. All right, so those are my primary attributes. I'm gonna roll a human because I'm not that interested in being something else. Human's funny. I think we're gonna go with that. So we're gonna be a human. Is our human a female or a male human? Let's roll a D100, and we got a 7. I think this is a lady. Yep. So this is a female human. So our sex is female. Okay, female human. Oop. Okay, female human. And she gets a racial trait. Now, this is something that's really cool. I wanted to call this out. So you determine your character's biological sex, and then you can decide if you want your character to be cisgender or transgender in the game. And then you determine your race, but I'm gonna go with human. And then racial traits is cool because, so you've heard me talk a bunch before about monoculture and how I don't like monoculture, how I don't like all elves being elves, right? I like all elves being different. And in the art, it showed us, right? Like the humans are different. They come from different places, have different cultures. The elves and dwarves, they're all different. So what's cool is instead of just being an elf and getting elf stuff, you roll randomly what elf stuff you get. So my character, my human character, I'm going to get a +1 to CB, IB, and PB. So that's combat bonus, goes up to 6. Wait, oh, it did it already. What? Game? So smart. Okay, so the character sheet already did it. So my combat bonus goes up to 5. My agility bonus goes down to 3. My perception bonus goes up. My willpower bonus goes down, and my fellowship bonus goes down, which fucking sucks. But that's really cool. I typed in race, and it figured it out. I didn't pick that from a drop-down. So let's figure out what our human stuff is. So I'm going to roll a percentile die, and we'll figure out what we got. So roll D100. 64. My human ability is mixed bloodline. Randomly generate another race other than your own. Whatever you end up with, consider possible alterations to your appearance and cultural values. She's like a half something. Oh, damn. Okay, so I got to roll another D100. 23. Half gnome. Oh, no. Oh, no, fuck. All right, so traits, she's part gnome. Oh, gnome. Okay, so she's part gnome, and that means that I roll her, if sharing gnome heritage, yada, yada, yada. Oh, it's just a generate your mixed bloodline, and then randomly determine another racial trait for her. All right, so let's see what my gnomish racial trait is. Jesus Christ. All right, 54. Oh my God, are we making Dodger? All right, so my ability is Hocus Pocus. Whenever a foe fails to resist your magic, they critically fail instead. I'm not even going to have magic, just watch. All right, so I've got Hocus Pocus, and that's on page 35. Let's hope we get a magical character class. Otherwise, that's not going to make any... It's going to be like a fucking Highlander who never found out they were a Highlander. All right, we're Magic Duger. We're going to go ahead and change that right there. We're going to go ahead and save our changes. There we go. Okay. All right. Magic Duger. So, that's cool. We ended up being part gnome. Great. And our husband is an ogre. So let's see here. Next is determining our, we did race. So we got that figured out. We're going to determine our archetype. So D100. Let's find out what Fantasy Duger is. D100 again. We got a 94. Duger is a warrior. Fuck. There go those magic powers. All right, so archetype is warrior. Do we have a space for archetype, or do we just ignore it? I think we just do trappings. Yeah. Okay. So Duke's the warrior. She's gonna get some trappings, and let's find out what profession she is. So Lil Dukes, we get a fire-hardened spear, heavy boots, a lantern, 3 laudanum, military attire, an oil pot, red cap mushrooms, a rucksack, leather armor, 3 tincture, a wooden shield, and either an arbalest crossbow with bolts or a mortuary sword or a pike. We'll pick all that later. So now we roll D100 and see what class we are here. Warrior profession. Roll D100. She is a... Oh, I got Buccaneer last time. I don't want to make another Buccaneer. I'm rolling it again.
You have returned.
Yeah, so we've determined the archetype. Once we've done that, we'll reference the archetype table, then you roll another 100 and we figure it out. So I don't want to be another Buccaneer because I've already created one of those. Let's be 59. A pit fighter. That's better. Pit fighter. Pit fighter. Oh, I'm hype. This is going to be good. All right, Lil Dukes, the half-gnome pit fighter. Get over here. A lot of biting. There's going to be a lot of biting. All right, pit fighter. So our pit fighter, additionally to the starting trappings as a warrior, we're going to come back and do the profession stuff. We got secondary attributes. So our peril threshold, psychological stress, fatigue, exposure to elements, terror, intimidation, fear, narcotics, psychological harm is tracked using peril. The peril condition track illustrates how imperiled we are, how distracted we become. So right now our peril threshold is 5, 8, 14, and 20. And so we'll get imperiled as we go, and it'll ignore our skill ranks. So that's going to suck for us. It's not very good. Our willpower is not great. We also have a damage threshold, which is physical damage that we can take. And our armor will account for that. Our encumbrance will build in. We're not going to worry about any of this stuff right now, but we do need to find out our background. So let's find out what season our little pit fighting dodger is. So she's born in the spring. So season of birth is spring. Born in spring, which means now we get to find out our dooming. So once we figured out when we were born, we're going to roll to see what is going to kill us. In Zweihander, life is viewed as an absurdity. It's short, brutal, and seemingly random. It's customary for a child at 10 years of age to meet with a prognosticator to foretell of their dooming, the way in which they will die. So our dooming is, let's see, D100, 94. Our dooming is, a trick is not an illusion, Michael. All right, so that's our dooming. We gotta write down dooming. A trick is not, so we gotta look out for Gob Bluth. A trick is not an illusion. All right. Doesn't mean anything mechanically except that the GM, the player knows this, the character knows this, so they know to like look out for illusions, and the GM can make that a thing that's part of their game. All right. A trick is something that a whore does for money. These are illusions, Michael. All right, our age group. Let's see how old little Doogie is here. So D100. Ooh, 100. Elderly. Elderly pit fighter. Oh, shit, I'm so excited. Oh, man, perfect. We just crit rolled that right into the dark ages. All right, so she is an elderly pit fighter gnome lady. Oh my god. Okay. So, she's elderly, which means she has 3 distinguishing marks. We need to roll 3 D100. Oh fuck, this is so good. Roll D100. So 9, 11, and 78. So she's got a beaded mustachio. Okay, sure, why not? Do I have a place for distinguishing marks? She wears a beaded mustachio. I think she puts it on for fights. It's like part of her costume. So she has a beaded mustachio. What else did we roll? 9, 11, and 78. So 11. She has a beauty mark on face. And she has 78 is what I said. A rash of pimples. You know, they say you grow out of it, but... fuck. Oh, she's so good. Elderly pit fighter. Man, I love it. The miniature mustachioed matriarch herself. You got it, Dave. All right, so those are my my 3 traits. We're gonna do build type. Let's see her build type here. So we roll D100 to determine their build type. So we got a 71. She is husky. Awesome. Husky build. Okay, so she's husky, well muscled, brimming with curves, or simply a bit overweight. And now we use Should we use the gnome tables to figure out how tall she is? Yeah, let's use all the gnome tables. So I need to roll a D100 for her height and her weight. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll roll this twice. Height first and then weight. Okay. So 15 height, 97 weight. So for height, she's husky, and I got a 15. She's 100. Oh, no, here we go. She's 4'1". So that's great. Husky build, 4 feet, 1 inch. And she is, she's like a tiny murder grandma. And then for her husky weight, what did I get? A 98, did I say? 162 pounds? 97, 162. Yep. 162. All right. And 162 pounds. Jesus. So she's like a foot and a half shorter than me and like almost 20 pounds heavier. She's a tiny cannonball. I fucking love it. Swole ass grandma. Oh, fuck. That is amazing. All right. So that's good. Now we know how tall and wide she is. Let's figure out her hair and eye color. I think we'll stick with the gnome. We'll stick with the gnome ones for hair and eye color. So another roll D100. So 89 and 90. So she has gnome. She has silver hair. Perfect. And copper eyes. Or did I get that backwards? Yeah, silver hair and copper eyes. Okay, silver hair, copper eyes, and a heart of gold. Okay. And then her upbringing. Roll a D100. Roll D100. 21. She is... a forgotten upbringing. Raised outside common society and had little opportunity to integrate until now. Maybe you grew up on the streets, raised by wolves, or the last scion of a noble house. Being from an outcast family afforded benefits, but today you have nothing to rely on but yourself. You became quick and lithe, but you feel as if there's a hole in your life. All right, so she's forgotten, which means that her favored attribute is agility. All right, so forgotten upbringing. Abandoned by her parents. And that means that agility is cheaper to buy.
Have returned.
Agile ass old lady. Rad. Welcome back, Muthanius. She just forgot because she's old. Great. Good. Fantastic. And then her social class. We roll another D100. She is 43, so lowborn. 3d10 plus 3 brass pennies. Okay, roll 3d10 plus 3. 14. Oh, God, she's so poor. 14 brass pennies to her name. All right, so she's lowborn, and she has some brass pennies. So where's my trappings? Where do I keep track of my money? Rewards? No. All? Oh, this just gives it to me all as columns. Okay. Well, let's just throw it on trappings for now. What do we say? 14 brass pennies. 14 brass pennies. Good stuff. Good stuff, little dukes. Okay. And what else happens here? She begins with a local tongue and her own language. You're not required to select a drawback, but you know I'm going to roll for one. So we roll a D100. Let's see what her drawback is. 69. She has a veteran's boot, which means perhaps lost during an unfortunate carriage accident during an intense battle in the jaws of a rabid animal, you're missing a foot. In place is a wooden boot, which must strap to your leg to stand up straight. It makes a characteristic clud sound as you walk. All right, veteran's foot, and that's on page 64. So she starts with an extra fate point. So she has 2 instead of 1. So let me find where that is, and I'll add that on. She's A tier, and she's got... where are my fate points recorded? Fate points, here we go. We got 2. She's going to need them. Doogs van Clud. I like it. Duger von Clud. All right. Cool. So that's that. Let's figure out my alignment. So in Zweihander, your alignment is 2 things. It's a pairing of 2 distinct but similar traits. It's a little Pendragon-y, but you only have 1. And you drift back and forth between the 2. So her alignment is the pairing of 62. She has an alignment of impiety and heresy. Oh, she's like a tiny little heretic. So impiety and heresy means that when she's on the order side, no god has filled your belly or filled your mug, nor will they make you stand on your foot or open your eyes in the morning. You are aggressively self-reliant and resistant to the manipulation of those who would have you bend your knee to an invisible man in the sky. However, if she goes too far, unclean and wicked thing, your actions are irreverent to the point of blasphemy, and those who witness or know your nature will be afraid of being banished to hell with you. So, impiety and heresy. Piety, did I spell that right? And heresy. So you can see you gain ranks in the various orders, and that'll lean you in either direction. Okay. So there you go. Impiety and heresy. And then let's see here. Alignment and ranks, end of session tally for your alignment. We have a name for her already, obviously. And now we're going to build out her profession. So we have 1,000 reward points. And we're going to find out what Pit Fighter lets us get better at. So let's find Pit Fighter. Where's Pit Fighter? So Pit Fighter gives us some special abilities and some advancements. So Pit Fighter, here we go. The Pit Fighter does not engage in combat on the field of battle, but before baying crowds in acts of spectacle and butchery, sweat and viscera. Some are free, others slaves, but both slaughter criminals and beasts in the arena for the entertainment of others. In the simplest of fights, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. But some arenas increase the spectacle and danger by placing traps to pin the unwary, holding fight against beasts or worse, mutants or demons, or even bloody sacrifices to the gods. Regarded as little more than butchers or sadists, pit fighters are adaptable in combat and skilled in a variety of fighting styles. Formidable fighters, whatever implement is put in their hand, the pit fighters' skill and sadism often drive the crowds into an uproar as they scream, "Finish him!" in anticipation of the coup de grace. Oh my god, Spike Maw, you just won, chat. Thunder Gnome. Beyond Thunder Gnome. Whether they are criminals that fight simply for the right to stay alive, or mercenary entertainers who get a cut of the proceeds, pit fighters are without question ruthless killers. With each vicious act, it eats away their humanity bit by bit. Sure, a pit fighter might find fame in eviscerating opponent after opponent, but it rarely means they find friendship outside the pit circuit. Theirs is a lonely life, one that can only end in death. But some reach celebrated heights, their names chanted aloud, Dukes, 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 Dukes. As the blood of fallen foes drips from their hands, that is when they become less of a man and more of a monster, following the call of the crowd for a moment of acceptance. Damn. So, Thunder Gnome gets the ability Blood and Sand. And whenever you spend a fortune point, you move one step up the damage and peril condition track positively. Oh, dope. Oh, that's really good. So like in addition to your normal abilities with those points, you will move up both tracks every time you use a fate point. Holy shit, that's super cool. That's really, really good. Cool, so that's called Blood and Sand. And that's on page 23? Yeah, 123. All right. Fucking Duger the Bloody-Handed. Thunder Gnome. Okay. So her advances are Athletics, Coordination, Folklore, Intimidate. Let's go. So I'll show you how advances work. So basically what happens is it gives you a profile of advancements. And they cost a certain amount. So, for example, right now I have current reward points of 1,000, total reward points of 1,000. My profession is pit fighter, and I get the trait. I have to buy this, the trait blood and sand. And then we have skill ups, bonuses, and then I think traits. So this character gets athletics, coordination, folklore, intimidate. Athletics, coordination, folklore, intimidate. And then I also get martial melee, resolve, and rumor. Martial melee, resolve, and rumor. Okay. And then scrutinize. Scrut that shit. Scrutinize, simple melee, and toughness. Scrutinize, simple melee, toughness. Okay, so these are things I'm allowed to purchase. And then I also get bonus advances. So 2 for AB, 2 for BB. Agility bonus, brawn bonus, brawn bonus. You'll see how all this works in a second. And then CB, CB, WB. CB, combat bonus. I'm going to take fucking both of those. Combat bonus, willpower bonus. And I can buy the traits, or the talents, hard to kill, indifference, and no mercy. Hard to kill, indifference, and no mercy. It's not actually called that, but fuck it. So what's cool about this is that all of these cost 100 points. I start with 1,000, and I just get to buy 10 of them. Now I'm gonna lose a little bit of that because I have to buy into the profession first. But after that, I'm ready to rip. So I think that cost me 100 to start. Here we go. You previously received 1,000 reward points. They must be spent to customize your character. You can mix and match talent, skill rank, and bonus advances however you like. Yeah, that's right. I have resolve. If I can get 2 skill ranks in resolve. Now, the problem though, is I can only get resolve once. So I would have to leave pit fighter, become something else that also has resolve, get that, and then move in, right? Because I'm going to take an intermediate tier. Eventually, I will tire of being a pit fighter, and I'll become something else. We'll talk about what all this stuff does in a second. So let me go back to character creation, and we'll talk about spending those points, because there's a section about this where you have to buy certain things. Hand of Fate, determine your alignment and ranks, end of session tally. Here we go. Oh, okay. So yeah, it is all just right here. So if I buy an agility skill, it costs me half, right? Agility skill costs half because that's my favored, because I was forgotten upbringing. So anything I buy for agility, I think costs half. Skill ranks give me a plus 10% to any skill that I gain a bonus in. Bonus advances just give me a plus 1 to that bonus, and then talents are special. Yeah, agility stuff costs me 50. You already figure out what your profession is. You received 1,000 points. You must immediately, here we go. When you start out, you're already in your basic tier. You must immediately spend 100 points to enter your first profession. Okay, so that bought me blood and sand. It cost me 100 points, and now I'm down to 900. Okay. So now I have 900 points to spend on other shit. And I want to go back and look really quick at what my background gives me here. So just to be really clear, it makes 50 points. Here we go. Okay. Each upbringing has a primary attribute. When you purchase focuses for skills related to these primary attributes, they cost 50 instead of 100. Okay, and skills have related focuses in Chapter 5. So let me look at what focuses are. So focuses cost 50. Let me write that. So focus, 50 for agility, Focus 50 for agility. Let's go to the skills chapter and see what that means. Let's scan through all this shit. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay. So, skill descriptions. Focuses. All skills possess several focuses, reflecting a particular knack in its use. It doesn't encapsulate every way you can use a skill. They highlight its most common aspects. Whenever you use a skill with its focus in synergy, you may... Oh, this game uses does forking, too, as a thing. Yeah, the PDF has bookmarks. Sorry, I can go like this, and I can actually go, like, look at the references here. So let's go view... How do I look at my, here we go, show navigation panes, bookmarks. There we go. That's better. But now I'm in the middle of the PDF, but whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay, so these are the focuses. Okay, so if I buy a focus, it costs 50, but if I buy the skill, it costs 100, but in agility. You can possess more than one focus, but you can't have as many. Can't have more than your current intelligence bonus. I see. Foci allow you to ignore penalties due to peril because you are focused on that particular thing. It all makes sense now. Okay. I don't think I'm going to buy any focuses necessarily for agility because agility at character creation, agility is only skullduggery or stealth or coordination, maybe coordination, but let's not worry about that right now. Let's buy some shit. So I want Duger von Clud, aka the Thunder Gnome, to be just like a fucking rip ass fighter. I want her to be able to just kick the shit out of everybody. So I'm gonna mostly focus on buying ass whipping abilities. Let's look at our talents first. Hard to kill, indifference, and no mercy. So talents, because they're like feats. They let me cheat. So talents. Here we go. Talents. So what did I say I had? I've totally forgotten already. Hard to kill, indifferent, and no mercy. So hard to kill. When you're grievously wounded, add 3 to your damage threshold. Okay. Indifferent. When viewing blood-soaked and visceral scenes of death, you always succeed at resolve tests. Pretty good. And then no mercy. When you injure a foe, you inflict 2 injuries instead of 1. Fuck yes, buying that. No mercy. So that cost me 100. We're down to 800 now. I think I'm also going to buy indifferent and hard to kill because they seem fun. Hard to kill. Oop. Indifferent. And no mercy. So you know what's something that's really cool? Because this is CC BY, because it's a Creative Commons license, you could put all the rules for this stuff and for character creation into Roll20. Because it's just like Dungeon World, right? Like you could take all the mechanics and just dump them into the game. And so it could refer, there could be an SRD basically for all this stuff in the compendium. Pretty cool. Yep. All right. So I got all 3 of those talents because God knows I want them. Now let's take 2 points in combat. Let's take both the combat bonuses, which will give me another +2. And that brings me down to 400 because God knows I want my combat bonus to go up. So I've advanced combat bonus twice, which is a +7. And then how do I do damage? Is damage based on my brawn? Oh, there's my pennies. I got 13 of those. Because I want my damage to be crazy high too. Brawn, agility, initiative. Let me take a look. Damage of a weapon is based on... I know, I just want to rip people in half with my tiny gnome arms. Yeah, it's based on the weapon, but it also does a bonus. Let me check. Because, oh, you know what? Maybe it doesn't. It's just fury dice, right?
Welcome to the Math Squad.
Thank you. It's a big upgrade. Yeah, combat bonus plus a d6. Okay, good. So we're already ready to rip shit up. So that's good. Let's get some skills now, because I don't want her to miss every time she makes an attack. So I'm going to take martial and simple melee. So that's another 2. Bringing me down to 200. So martial melee is 1. And simple melee is also 1. I am a combat monster. And then toughness. I got 2 more. I'm thinking like toughness and intimidate. Maybe a brawn bonus. Toughness and intimidate. So let's take a quick look at what toughness and intimidate do. So intimidate. Well, here's toughness. Toughness is based on brawn, and toughness, stamina and endurance, withstanding pain and exposure, the effects of physical peril. Yep. So toughness, and I definitely am going to take intimidate. Yep. So let's do that. Bring us down to 0. Toughness, intimidate. I could totally see moving this character into being a slayer. Now, if you are the kind of player who builds, say, for like advanced classes, say you're someone who, you know, picks your class path at character creation, this is when you might want to go look and like, let's see what I need to be a slayer, right? So if I were like, eventually I want to be Dukes the Slayer, I would look at Slayer and I would find, I guess Slayer is my second class, right? And then I could become something more intense, like a White Wolf or something. But I could look and see what I need to get as my next thing. So if for some reason I want to be an executioner, I would just have to make sure I take a rank in interrogation before I get here. Yeah, okay, neat. I see how that works. Become a crime boss? Become a badlander? Totally doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go back. And what did I take? Intimidation and toughness. So toughness is a bronze skill, and intimidate is a bronze skill. I have no other skills. It's fine. Now I can raise something to 42 if I don't already have it there. So let's bring our willpower up to 42, because then at least I'll have the 3-point willpower bonus. So that's done. I'm done with all this stuff. And I think I just have talents and trappings now. So let's do combat real quick. So I have leather armor, which gives me a damage threshold modifier of 2, I believe. Let's go back to my warrior. The warrior gives me, the warrior archetype gives me all my gear, because it's not a profession, right? Should be in the section before this, I think. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So we get that. We get leather armor. That's important to write down. We have a fire hardened spear and a wooden shield. And I think I'm going to take the mortuary sword. Okay. So I'm actually going to write these down. So wooden shield, and we get to add a weapon, which is a mortuary sword. Okay, and that uses... Oh, and we have the fire-hardened spear, which uses simple melee. Okay, and then we would fill all this stuff in. So these are combat bonus weapons. The weapons in this game have tags, kind of like in an Apocalypse World, in the sense that they will act slightly different depending on if they have like vicious, they'll deal slightly more damage. I guess like 5e too has that. So let's go quickly and write those down, and then I think we're basically ready to do, because we're not going to be able to buy anything. We have 13 pennies. So let me see. Trappings. Armor. Okay, so leather armor is damage threshold modifier of 2, no qualities, encumbrance 3. So qualities, none. Encumbrance value 3. Does this sheet do the math for me? Doesn't look like it does. My current encumbrance limit is 3. I have 14 pennies. Okay, good to know, right? I could have one of those little Coke bottle candies and 9 pennies though. Ooh, I love those. Can I get like a live wire? Handful of gummy bears? Okay. And then a mortuary sword. God, that's such a good name for a weapon. Actually, let's do shield while we're here. So a shield gives me, as a wooden shield, I get, it's one-handed, it's defensive and light, which means it gives me a +10 to parry, and I get a +1 total damage when held in my offhand. So I'm bashing with the shield and chopping with the mortuary sword. Oh, that's dope. Okay, so it's light, which means my damage goes up by 1 for whatever I use. Keep that in mind. Help me remember that. So it's light, and it is defensive. And the encumbrance value, I think, is 2, maybe 3. Oh, it's only 1. Nice. Okay. Yeah, shields are awesome, turns out. Okay. And then my fire hardened spear and my mortuary sword. Let's take a look at those. So a mortuary sword. You know, some people get fucking axes and guns and shit, but not me. Not me. So a mortuary sword gives me, where is it? Martial weapons. There it is. Okay, so 0 load. It's one-handed, distance engage. 0 load, one-handed. Distance is 000 because it's not a missile weapon. Type is combat bonus. Yep. Damage is 1d6. It's vicious though, so I think I might be doing extra d6. Vicious means that it. Here we go. Yeah, an additional 1d6 chaos die for whether you inflict an injury. Okay, so plus 1d6 chaos die for injury. Damage weapon is 1, and then modifier is +1. Quality, I think it's just regular, and its encumbrance value for the mortuary sword is 1. So that brings my encumbrance up to 5 total. All right, I can carry like a little bit more stuff. You would go two-handed because you deal massive damage with a two-handed weapon. You're just like hewing limbs and chopping people up. And then I have my shitty fire-hardened spear. The fire-hardened spear is... Because like a Zweihander has a 1-yard reach, right? It's punishing and it has reach. And punishing means that it adds a d6 fury die to total damage in exchange for spending an additional action point. So you can like rear up and then hack into somebody with it. That's right. Yeah, qualities are vicious. Yeah, that's right for my mortuary sword. Okay, so load is 0, 1 or 2. Whoa. Oh, no. God, there we go. So it's 1 or 2-handed. The distance for the spear, because I think I can throw it. Also, this is just literally a stick if you look at fire hardened spear here. So fire hardened spear, engaged or 1 yard.
Returns. Welcome home.
Okay, so 1 yard. And maybe it's not straight enough to throw. And adaptable, reach, and weak. That doesn't sound good. Adaptable, reach, and weak. What does weak do? Weak means only inflict moderate or serious, never grievous injuries. God damn it. Oh yeah, mortuary sword is, let me find the picture for you. Mortuary sword, it's this one right here. Yeah, basket hilt, one-handed, chopping. Do we have glaives or guisarmes? Yeah, let me read you the pike description, because it's actually kind of funny. Let's see. Pole cleaver. A very long stick with an axe in the end. It's far more intimidating than a pike, but less embarrassing than a mere butcher's cleaver. Soldiers often partake in Gygaxian musings over the vast array of pole arms that dominate weapon racks, in which the pole cleaver is called by a variety of names. So if you want a bec de Corbin, you want a Bohemian ear spoon, you want a glaive guisarme, they're all the same fucking thing. Do not muse Gygaxian. Where were we? Oh, yes, right. So damage and modifier is just normal. And then encumbrance for this pointy stick is 2. Encumbrance 2. So that's exactly... I cannot carry any more shit. I am just like loaded up. Damn. It's because my brawn is not very good. But later in the game, as I proceed, I can continue to buy additional things. So I can buy up my brawn bonus for another 100 points. So in like a session or two, I could buy up my brawn bonus again. So that's how that works. Yeah, I could also toss the fucking stick because I got my mortuary sword. But, you know, sometimes you got to kill people with 2 weapons. So let's look at how advancement works, because I'm actually curious. I didn't really look at this for the last character that I made. So rewards and advancement in this game, God help me try to find it. You have to have certain things to move into expert professions. We know that, but what about advancing into a different profession from the one you're already in? How do we do in the middle one? Professions. Here we go. Intermediate tier. A new chapter for your life. While they've spent most of their lives in the basic tier, the new tier represents a new profession. So during intermediate tier, you move into a new profession and adopt its techniques as you gain reward points. What do we need to do to move into the next one? Continue to draw from your past. Never lose your old abilities. Peruse the professions within your archetype. So you can only move within the same archetype whenever you want to become your secondary one. You may select freely any other profession within the same archetype. It's assumed that all professions share a common bond of training. It's a fairly trivial matter to move. You just have to spend 200 to buy the trait to move into the intermediate award tier. Oh, nice. Okay, so you can kind of do this whenever you have 200 points. Got it. I like it. Cool. Okay. So that's our character. We've completed Duger von Clud, Die Thunder Gnome, who is a low-born human, but partly gnomish pit fighter, who was born in the spring, who will die to a trick that is not an illusion. She is elderly with a beaded mustachio, a beauty mark on her face, a rash of pimples. She's 4'1" and 162 pounds with silver hair and copper eyes and has a forgotten upbringing. She has 1 foot and is a badass fighter.
To the math squad.
She has learned in her time how to be hard to kill, how to be indifferent, and has no mercy for her enemies. In combat, she wields a mortuary sword and a fire-hardened spear while wearing the leather armor of a gladiatrix and carrying a shield. She has no magic. She is trained in intimidation, various types of weapons. She's very tough and has a huge combat bonus. I would love to have her on my team. Oh my God, Staves. Is she human or not? It's not really important. Just a matter of nomenclature. Get the fuck out of here. So that's Zweihander, everybody. The game is intended to fairly quickly make just really weird characters who... I love this style of play because it puts in my hands characters that are not entirely under my control. I have to figure out why they are the way that they are. You can find out more about this game if you're interested at grimandperilous.com. Weirdly, they do not have a Twitter that I could find. Otherwise, I would tweet at them and have told them I was doing the stream. If you missed any of the stream, I'll post it on YouTube probably like tomorrow. Thanks for watching. This was a nice way to do a little bit of RP stuff, even though we missed out on Court of Swords today. So thanks for coming, everybody. I'm gonna go and finish my wine and edit some videos. So thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time. Don't get eaten by chaos demons, I guess.